Most people don't have a money problem. They have a money structure problem. They earn money, they spend money, and then at the end of the month, they wonder where everything went. The money came in. The bills were paid. A few small things were bought. Maybe some food delivery. Maybe a subscription. Maybe 1 or 2 impulse purchases. And suddenly, the account is almost empty again. This is where the 50/30/20 rule can help. It is one of the simplest budgeting methods for beginners because it gives your money a clear structure without making personal finance feel overwhelming. It does not require complicated spreadsheets. It does not require tracking every single penny forever. And it does not require you to stop enjoying your life. The idea is simple. You divide your after-tax income into 3 main categories. 50% goes to needs, 30% goes to wants, and 20% goes to savings, investing, or paying down debt. That's it. But simple does not mean useless. Sometimes the simplest systems are the ones people can actually follow. And when it comes to money, consistency usually matters more than complexity. Before we go deeper, remember that this video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Everyone's financial situation is different, so always make decisions based on your own goals, income, risk tolerance, and personal circumstances. Now let's break down how the 50/30/20 rule actually works. First, 50% of your income goes to needs. Needs are the things you must pay for to live, work, and function. This usually includes rent or mortgage payments, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, basic phone bills, minimum debt payments, and essential healthcare costs. These are the expenses that keep your life running. But this is where many people make their first mistake. They confuse needs with wants. A place to live is a need. But the most expensive apartment you can possibly afford may not be a need. Food is a need. But ordering takeout every night is usually not a need. Transportation is a need. But upgrading to a more expensive car because the payment technically fits may not be a need. A phone may be a need. But replacing it every year with the newest model is usually a want. The goal here is not to judge yourself. The goal is to be honest. Because if everything becomes a need, then your budget has no room to breathe. When your needs take up too much of your income, you may feel financially trapped even if you are earning a decent amount of money. For example, imagine someone earns $3,000 per month after taxes. Using the 50/30/20 rule, around $1,500 would go toward needs. That includes rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, and required payments. If that person's rent alone is $1,400, then almost the entire needs category is already gone. That does not mean they are a bad person. It just means the budget is under pressure. And when the needs category is too heavy, saving becomes harder, investing becomes harder, and even enjoying life becomes stressful. This is why the 50% category is so important. It shows you whether your basic lifestyle is affordable based on your current income. Now let's move to the second category. 30% goes to wants. This is the category many people either ignore or completely lose control of. Wants are the things that make life more enjoyable, but are not required for survival. Restaurants, coffee, streaming services, shopping, travel, entertainment, hobbies, upgrades, subscriptions, new clothes, gaming, decorations, convenience purchases. There is nothing wrong with wants. This is important. A budget should not make you feel guilty for enjoying your money. Money is a tool, and part of using money well is using some of it to enjoy your life. The problem starts when wants quietly take over the entire budget. One subscription does not feel like much. One coffee does not feel like much. One delivery order does not feel like much. One online purchase does not feel like much. But when all of those small decisions repeat throughout the month, they can quietly take hundreds of dollars. And because they happen slowly, you may not notice the damage until the end of the month. The 30% wants category gives you permission to spend, but with boundaries. If you earn $3,000 after taxes, the 50/30/20 rule gives you around $900 for wants. That does not mean you must spend $900. It simply means that if your wants are far above that number, you may need to adjust. Maybe eating out is taking too much. Maybe subscriptions are adding up. Maybe shopping is emotional instead of intentional. Maybe convenience is quietly becoming expensive. This is where budgeting becomes powerful. Not because it tells you never spend, but because it tells you spend on purpose. A good budget does not remove freedom. It creates freedom by removing confusion. Now let's talk about the final category. 20% goes to savings, investing, and debt payoff. This is the category that builds your future. This can include building an emergency fund, investing for retirement, investing for long-term goals, saving for a house, saving for education, or making extra payments on high-interest debt. This 20% is important because it is where wealth starts to grow. Not overnight, not magically, but slowly and consistently. Many people save whatever is left after spending. The problem is that usually, nothing is left. The 50/30/20 rule flips that around. Instead of saving what is left, you make your future part of the plan from the beginning. This is sometimes called paying yourself first. And it is one of the most important money habits you can build. Because if you wait until life becomes easier to start saving, you may wait forever. There will always be something to buy. There will always be another bill. There will always be another reason to delay. But when saving becomes automatic, it stops depending on motivation. For example, if you earn $3,000 per month after taxes, 20% would be $600. That $600 could go toward your emergency fund, investment account, retirement plan, or extra debt payments. If $600 feels impossible right now, that does not mean you should give up. Start smaller. Start with 5%. Start with 10%. Start with whatever you can repeat. The goal is not perfection. The goal is direction. Because even a small amount, repeated consistently, can change your financial life over time. Now, here is something very important. The 50/30/20 rule is not a law. It is a guideline. Real life is not always clean. Your rent may be high. Your income may be low. You may have debt. You may support family. You may live in an expensive city. You may have medical expenses. You may be in a season of life where saving 20% is very difficult. That does not mean the rule is useless. It means you should use it as a mirror, not a weapon. The rule helps you see where your money is going. It gives you a starting point. If your budget is currently 70% needs, 25% wants, and 5% savings, now you know the problem. Maybe your needs are too high. Maybe your wants need trimming. Maybe your income needs to grow. Maybe your debt payments are taking too much space. Once you see the numbers, you can start making better decisions. Without structure, money feels emotional. With structure, money becomes easier to understand. Let's talk about how to actually use this rule step by step. Step 1. Find your after-tax income. This is the money that actually reaches your account after taxes and deductions. Do not base your budget on your gross income if that is not what you actually take home. Step 2. Write down your monthly expenses. Start with your needs: rent, utilities, groceries, transport, insurance, minimum debt payments. Then write down your wants: eating out, streaming, shopping, subscriptions, entertainment, random purchases. Then write down your future category: savings, investing, extra debt payments, emergency fund. Step 3. Calculate the percentages. You do not need to be perfect. Just get close enough to understand the pattern. Ask yourself, are my needs around 50%? Are my wants around 30%? Am I putting around 20% toward my future? If not, do not panic. Just notice. Awareness comes before improvement. Step 4. Make one adjustment. Do not try to fix everything at once. That is how people burn out. Maybe cancel one unused subscription. Maybe reduce delivery orders. Maybe lower one bill. Maybe automate a small savings transfer. Maybe avoid one impulse purchase this week. Small improvements are easier to keep than dramatic changes. Step 5. Repeat every month. Your budget is not something you set once and forget forever. Life changes. Income changes. Expenses change. Goals change. The point is to keep checking in. A budget is not a punishment. It is a plan. It tells your money where to go before the world tells it where to disappear. And that is the real power of the 50/30/20 rule. It helps you stop guessing. It helps you stop reacting. It helps you see the difference between survival, enjoyment, and future growth. Needs keep your life stable. Wants make your life enjoyable. Savings and investing build your future. You need all three. If you only focus on needs, life feels stressful. If you only focus on wants, your future suffers. If you only focus on saving and never enjoy anything, the plan may become impossible to maintain. Balance is the goal, not perfection. So if you are just starting your financial journey, try this simple exercise today. Take your monthly income, divide it into needs, wants, and future. Look at the numbers honestly. Then choose one small improvement. Because personal finance does not change from one perfect decision. It changes from repeated small decisions. One better choice, then another, then another. Over time, those choices become habits. And those habits become your financial future. Wealth isn't built overnight. It's built by habit. If this video helped you, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more simple videos about money habits, investing, and long-term wealth.